I'm 84 years old, and let me tell you something that might sound unbelievable at first, but stay with me. Just 4 days ago, I could barely get out of bed without wincing from the pain in my knees and lower back. My hands were stiff, my shoulders ached, and even standing up for 5 minutes made my joints feel like rusted hinges. But then, something changed. I started using this simple turmeric recipe. Nothing fancy, just a mix of what you probably already have in your kitchen. For days. That's all it took. I woke up on the fifth morning and realized, wait a minute, I'm not limping. My hands aren't swollen. The stabbing pain in my hips? Gone. And I'm not sharing this to brag. I'm sharing this because I know how hopeless it can feel when you're in constant pain. I know what it's like to lie in bed and pray that the pain will give you just one easy morning. And I know how many of us, especially after 70, start thinking this is just how life is going to be from now on. But it doesn't have to be. That's the point of this video, and I want to walk you through exactly how I used this turmeric recipe to beat inflammation naturally, safely, and without a single pill. You'll learn why turmeric is so powerful, what to combine it with to unlock its full potential, and how to use it daily without spending a dime on supplements. Just real food, real healing, and real results. So, what are the key takeaways in the next few minutes? First, you'll learn how turmeric can target inflammation in the joints, gut, and brain, often in as little as 72 hours. Second, I'll show you the simple trick to making turmeric work better than expensive medications by combining it with two everyday ingredients. If that sounds helpful, I'd love it if you hit that like button and subscribed. Your support keeps this channel going and helps us bring more practical wisdom to people who truly need it. Now, what will you actually gain from this video? You'll walk away with a specific recipe you can make tonight. You'll understand why this works and how to tweak it based on your needs. Whether you're struggling with arthritis, stiff knees, bloating, or just want more energy in the morning, this simple turmeric drink might change everything for you like it did for me. And no, this isn't about hype or miracle cures. This is about returning to what our bodies already understand: natural healing. Let me take you back a few years. I remember waking up and feeling like I had to negotiate with my joints just to start my day. There were days I had to cancel plans because I couldn't even walk to the mailbox without holding on to something. Doctors gave me creams and pills, and while some helped a little, none of them gave me the freedom I longed for. One evening, my neighbor, a woman in her late 70s who never seemed to slow down, shared her turmeric recipe with me. She said it was her grandmother's and that they used it every day back in their village. I smiled politely but tucked the idea away. It wasn't until a particularly rough morning that I remembered what she said. I pulled out the turmeric from the spice cabinet, added her recommended ingredients, and started drinking it every evening before bed. Within days, I noticed my swelling had gone down. My hands weren't as stiff. I was actually sleeping better. And then it hit me. My pain wasn't just better, it was practically gone. Since then, I've shared this recipe with my walking group, my book club, even my grandson's fiancée who has joint pain from running. And the results have been the same: consistent, fast relief that feels like getting your life back. So, what's in this recipe? It starts with 1 teaspoon of ground turmeric. You don't need any fancy organic version, just the regular one from your local store works fine. But here's the key: turmeric by itself isn't easily absorbed by your body. That's where the secret comes in. You need 2 things: black pepper and a healthy fat. Black pepper contains something called piperine, which boosts turmeric's absorption by over 2,000%. And the fat helps your body transport the curcumin, the active ingredient in turmeric, into your bloodstream and tissues where it can fight inflammation. So here's how I make it. In a small saucepan, I heat 1 cup of unsweetened almond milk or regular milk. I add 1 teaspoon of turmeric, a pinch of black pepper, and half a teaspoon of coconut oil or ghee. I let it simmer gently for about 5 minutes, stirring occasionally. Before bed, I pour it into a mug and sip it slowly. That's it. That's the whole recipe. Simple, soothing, and incredibly powerful. Now, I know some of you might be thinking, Can it really be that easy? Isn't turmeric just another health fad? I used to think that too. But the more I learned, the more I realized that turmeric has been used for thousands of years in Ayurvedic and traditional medicine, especially for pain, inflammation, digestion, and even mood. The reason it's so effective is because it doesn't just mask the symptoms, it goes deep into the root of the problem. Inflammation is behind so many of the issues we face in old age. Joint pain, fatigue, brain fog, even heart disease and diabetes all have inflammation at their core. And while prescription medications may offer short-term relief, they often come with side effects. Turmeric, on the other hand, works with your body, not against it. The science backs this up too. Studies show that curcumin in turmeric can reduce markers of inflammation like CRP and IL-6. In some trials, it performed just as well as over-the-counter anti-inflammatory drugs, but without harming the liver or stomach. And let's talk about gut health. Many seniors struggle with constipation, bloating, or digestive discomfort that seems to worsen with age. Turmeric has natural antibacterial and antifungal properties that help calm the gut, reduce gas, and support a healthier microbiome. I personally found that within a few days of drinking turmeric milk, my stomach felt lighter and I was far more regular. Then there's the brain. One of the most surprising benefits I discovered was how clear my thinking became. I wasn't expecting it, but it was like a fog had lifted. It turns out turmeric also helps boost levels of BDNF, a growth hormone in the brain that supports memory and mood. For those of us who are concerned about memory loss, dementia, or just keeping our minds sharp, this is huge. I noticed I was remembering names faster, finishing crossword puzzles quicker, and even my mood felt lighter. I didn't feel as irritable or sluggish, and that change alone made me feel more like myself again. Let me share something else that's important. If you've tried turmeric before and it didn't work, it's probably because you didn't have the right combination. Remember, turmeric needs black pepper and fat to be truly effective. Without them, your body can't absorb enough of the curcumin to make a difference. But once you make that small adjustment, the difference is night and day. I've even added cinnamon and ginger to my mix on some nights for a stronger anti-inflammatory effect and a bit of flavor. These ingredients work in harmony to reduce swelling, soothe pain, and calm the nervous system. Another thing I want to mention, this is not about giving up modern medicine. It's about adding a powerful natural tool to your toolbox. If you're on medication, check with your doctor first, of course. But so many of us have found that this turmeric recipe complements our treatment, often allowing us to reduce our dependence on painkillers over time. It's empowering to know there's something you can do every day that actually helps your body heal. And the beauty is that it doesn't require a massive lifestyle change. You're not overhauling your diet or spending hours at the gym. You're simply making a warm drink before bed that not only comforts you, but starts working from the inside out. You sleep better. You wake up easier. You move with less pain. You feel stronger, more independent. And that confidence, that belief that healing is possible at any age, is what gives us the energy to live fully again. I'm 84, and some mornings I feel better than I did at 60. That's not because I'm lucky. It's because I found something that works and I stuck with it. If you've been struggling with pain and swelling and nothing seems to help, I urge you to try this recipe for just 4 days. Give it a real chance. Make it part of your nightly routine. And pay attention to the small changes. How your joints feel in the morning, how easily you move, how your stomach settles after meals, how you're able to think more clearly. Healing doesn't always come in big dramatic moments. Sometimes it comes in the form of a gentle night's sleep without pain, or a walk around the block without a limp. Sometimes it's just waking up and realizing you feel more like yourself again. You deserve to feel good. You deserve to wake up with hope instead of dread. And you deserve to know that your body, even now, even after all it's been through, still knows how to heal. Turmeric is just one piece of the puzzle, but it's a powerful one. And it's waiting in your kitchen, right now, ready to help you take back your days. So try it. Sip it slowly and feel the difference. Because this isn't just about managing pain, it's about reclaiming your life. What really surprised me as I kept using this turmeric drink was how the benefits didn't just stop at pain relief. It's like once the inflammation started going down, my whole body began to work better. I started sleeping deeper through the night without tossing and turning or waking up from discomfort. I noticed my digestion had improved dramatically, which for someone my age is no small thing. Bloating, gas, that heavy feeling after meals, it all began to ease away. I felt lighter, not just physically but mentally too. And if you're like me and have dealt with those mid-afternoon crashes where your body feels like it's running on fumes, you'll be amazed by how steady your energy becomes once your system isn't constantly fighting off inflammation. It's like giving your body permission to rest and function properly again. Another bonus? My skin even started to look a bit more vibrant. I wasn't expecting that, but inflammation affects every part of us, including our appearance. Less puffiness around the eyes, less redness on the cheeks, and a more even tone overall. I even got a compliment from my daughter who said, "Dad, you look really healthy lately. What are you doing differently?" And all I had changed was drinking that turmeric milk before bed. What also blew my mind was how this drink helped ease the stiffness that came from simply sitting too long. I'd get up from my recliner or from the dinner table and usually have to take a few moments before I could fully straighten up. That hesitation, that bracing for pain, it became less and less until one day I stood up without even thinking about it. That's freedom. That's independence. And we don't realize how much of that we've lost until we start getting it back. The turmeric recipe also helped me feel more in control. And at this stage of life, that's something you can't put a price on. When your body cooperates with you instead of fighting against you, your entire mindset shifts. You start to look forward to small things again, like gardening, baking, or even going for a walk around the neighborhood. You feel more connected to your own life, that I should also mention. If you're someone who deals with frequent colds, or you feel like your immune system just isn't what it used to be, turmeric is a natural immunity booster. It helps support your body's defense system by reducing chronic inflammation that can weaken your response to illness. Since I've started using it regularly, I haven't had one of those lingering colds that used to knock me down for a week or more. Just small sniffles here and there that disappear quickly, and that alone makes this little yellow spice worth every bit of attention. And if you're worried about sugar levels or managing diabetes, turmeric can actually help with that too. It helps improve insulin sensitivity and supports stable blood sugar. I used to get those sudden blood sugar dips, sweaty palms, shaky hands, and now they're nearly gone. That's huge when you're trying to keep your independence and not rely on medications for every little issue. Yet there's a calmness that comes with this routine too. Making this turmeric drink each night became almost meditative. A little moment of self-care, something just for me. I'd stir the milk, watch it turn golden, feel the warmth in my hands, and take those slow, intentional sips. It quieted my nerves, helped me wind down, and honestly became a ritual I now look forward to. It's simple, affordable, and doesn't require a big learning curve or fancy equipment. It's just you, your kitchen, and a decision to support your body naturally. And let me say this, don't worry if you don't notice dramatic changes overnight. Sometimes the healing is quiet. Sometimes it's not about what you feel in the moment, but what you don't feel after a few days. Less pain, fewer aches, more ease in your movement. Pay attention to that. Keep a little note if you have to, just to track how things evolve. Because when you start to see the small victories add up, that's when you realize how powerful this simple drink really is. Now you might be wondering if it's safe to drink every day, and the answer is yes. For most people, it's perfectly safe. In fact, the consistent daily use is what helps keep inflammation down over the long term. It's like brushing your teeth. You do it daily not because your teeth are in bad shape today, but to prevent problems down the line. Turmeric works the same way. It gently but steadily keeps your system clean, calm, and supported. Of course, if you're on blood thinners or have any special medical conditions, talk to your doctor first. But for the vast majority of seniors, it's a safe and natural addition to your routine. I also found that on the days I forgot to drink it, especially after I started seeing results, my body reminded me. The stiffness crept back, the bloating returned, and I felt like I had hit the rewind button. So I went back to it the next night, and again, my body thanked me. That kind of real-time feedback from your body is rare, and it's powerful. It tells you this is working. Even my grandson, who's in his 30s, started drinking turmeric tea after workouts. He says it helps him recover faster and stay more focused during the day. So this isn't just for older folks like us. It's for anyone who wants their body to feel supported, energized, and protected. And don't worry if the taste is new to you. You can add a little honey or a sprinkle of cinnamon if you like a sweeter version. I sometimes even add a dash of cardamom or nutmeg just for variety. You can make it your own. What matters is the habit. What matters is showing up for your body each night with something it can truly use. Not something synthetic. Not something made in a lab. Just nature in its purest, most healing form. I'll also say this. One of the biggest things turmeric gave me was hope. That feeling that maybe I wasn't doomed to spend my golden years in a fog of discomfort. That maybe, just maybe, there was still something I could do to feel better. That hope is priceless. And I want that for you too. Because it's not just about living longer, it's about living better. With more comfort, more clarity, more energy to enjoy the people and things that matter most to you. You're never too old to feel good again. You're never too far gone to heal. And sometimes, all it takes is a simple habit, a warm mug in your hands, a few quiet minutes at night, and the belief that your best days don't have to be behind you. They can still be ahead, waiting for you, one sip at a time. One thing I didn't expect from starting this turmeric ritual was how it would change my mindset. At first, I was just hoping for a little relief from the nagging aches in my knees and shoulders. But as I kept at it, day after day, I began to notice something deeper happening, not just in my joints, but in my attitude toward aging itself. I used to wake up and brace myself for pain. Now I wake up and wonder what I'll do with the new energy I've got. That shift, from surviving to living, has been the biggest gift of all. It's like this turmeric recipe didn't just soothe my inflammation, it reminded me that I still have the power to influence how I feel, how I move, and how I live. And when you start your day with that kind of hope, everything changes. You start making different choices. You move more because it doesn't hurt so much. You cook something fresh instead of microwaving a frozen meal. You pick up the phone and call a friend you haven't spoken to in a while. You say yes to the walk, yes to the outing, yes to life. I even started sleeping with fewer pillows. That might sound silly, but for years I needed all kinds of positioning just to stay somewhat comfortable through the night. With less inflammation, I've gone from a complicated setup to a simple pillow and a deep, uninterrupted sleep. That's something I never thought I'd get back. And the mental clarity. Oh, that's been something else. I remember names faster, follow conversations better, and feel less foggy during the day. I can read books again without having to go back and reread paragraphs. It's like someone turned on the lights in my brain, and I honestly didn't know that kind of sharpness was possible at my age. Another area that improved for me was balance. You might not connect balance with turmeric, but inflammation affects the entire nervous system, including the communication between your brain and your muscles. When my inflammation started to drop, I began noticing fewer stumbles, less hesitation while stepping up curbs or getting out of the shower. I felt steadier, more sure-footed. That confidence spills into everything, into how you carry yourself, how you interact with others, even how you breathe. And when you're not afraid of falling every time you move, you stand taller. You move easier. You get your dignity back. That's a gift I wish for every senior out there. Now let me talk about how it impacted my social life. Pain has a way of making you isolate yourself. When you hurt all the time, it's easier to say no to invitations, easier to stay home and avoid activities that might aggravate your joints. But once I began feeling better, I started showing up again. I went back to my weekly chess games at the community center. I joined a neighbor on her morning walks. I even danced a little at my grandson's wedding. Not a full tango, mind you, but enough to feel alive. Enough to feel included. And that's the heart of it, isn't it? We don't want to just exist. We want to feel part of things. And getting inflammation under control opened that door for me again. And don't underestimate how much this can affect your mood. Chronic pain drains the joy right out of you. You can't fully laugh or relax when your joints are burning or your back feels like it's on fire. But when that pain quiets down, even a little, it's like your personality reawakens. I noticed I was more patient with my grandkids, more cheerful around my family, and even more forgiving with myself. I wasn't snapping as much or feeling irritable for no reason. I wasn't stuck in my head, worrying about every twinge or flare-up. That emotional lightness, it matters. It makes everything else in life easier to handle. Even simple things like getting dressed became smoother. My fingers used to struggle with buttons or shoelaces, but that stiffness eased up after consistent use of turmeric. I could hold a pen more comfortably, grip my toothbrush more firmly, and even open jars without wincing. That may sound like nothing to some, but when you're older, those little things are everything. They give you back your sense of independence. They remind you that you're still capable, still strong, still worthy of comfort and ease. Some days I still feel a twinge here and there. Let's be real, aging doesn't stop. But those moments don't control me like they used to. They're not the full story anymore. They're just small reminders to stick to what works, to keep nourishing my body in ways that matter. And turmeric became one of those quiet anchors. Something I can rely on. Something that supports me without side effects, without prescriptions, without needing a doctor's appointment. It's a piece of wellness that belongs to me. And that's powerful. So many people I've spoken to in my age group have just accepted that pain is part of the deal after 70 or 80. And I get it. When you've lived with discomfort for so long, it's hard to believe anything can really make a difference. But I'm here to tell you it can. I wouldn't have believed it either if I hadn't tried it for myself. But now, when I sit in my favorite chair with that golden drink in hand, I smile knowing I'm giving my body what it needs, not just to function, but to thrive. That it's never too late to start. Whether you're 65 or 95, your body is always listening, always responding. And when you give it the right signals, through healing foods, daily rituals, and natural support, it remembers how to heal. It doesn't forget. You just have to remind it. And you do that one day at a time, one cup at a time. You don't need fancy supplements or expensive treatments to start feeling better. You just need a little commitment and something as simple as turmeric, black pepper, and healthy fat to open the door to healing. That's what I did, and it's changed the way I live, move, sleep, think, and feel. You deserve that too. You deserve comfort. You deserve energy. You deserve to wake up without pain and fall asleep with peace. Start today. Don't wait for things to get worse. Don't wait for another prescription. Your body wants to heal. Give it the tools. Give it the chance. And give yourself the gift of a life that still has so much more to offer.